the American Business Podcast. I'm Kevin Deveci, your host. I'm welcoming you to the episode number 44, season 2 from New York City. Thank you very much for being with us. I'd like to invite our guest today and let's get the conversation started. Let's invite Rob to our virtual stage. All right, great. Hello, Rob. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Kevin. Appreciate the time.
Thank you very much. How is your week going so far?
Well, I have to say this week, if you're in the New York City, New Jersey area, you've been sweltering under the heat. So I'm surviving. I don't know about you.
Yes, record highs in terms of the heat, that's for sure. As a matter of fact, on Tuesday, I had a chance to join a marketing event at Topgolf on Long Island. And it was really hot. It was good to be in the presentation room for a while where the AC is. Then we were out there playing golf. So thank God they put large fans and that really helped us actually playing golf outside. So
right?
Yes, that was fun. But overall, yes, it has been a pretty hot week in New York metro area. That's for sure. So we have as actually list of subjects that we like to discuss and many things that we love to learn from you and get your professional insights and wisdom, if that's okay. So as a start, would you please introduce yourself and your organization to our audience and to our listeners?
Yeah, sure. Rob Sturjanowski. I work for Magetics. We're an IT consulting firm that's actually based in Dallas. I'm up here in the New York area. And we support small and mid-sized companies on their IT needs, usually in the 100 to 5,000 employee range, where their IT and their business leaders need support on their transformation of their digital assets. And we can come in and have partnerships and solutions that can meet those needs.
How did you decide to choose your current career?
So I think it was a long journey. I got into the technology world because I was really interested in the topic when I was in college. I started off as a criminal justice major, but started to minor in some programming classes and technology. And when I got out of college, I moved into technology. Worked for AT&T for 2 decades, actually, selling IT to major corporations, then moving over to the business and operations side of technology, implementing those solutions for our customers. And I got to see how the sausage is made. As I got to the end of my career at AT&T, I wanted a different type of challenge. And really wanted to work with clients more directly on a smaller scale, because there's so much technology that's out there that is really for larger companies that's now starting to transition into the small and mid-size range, and try to help them find the right technology to give them a seamless transition as they scale up and do their digital transformations.
You are working with different organizations and businesses on daily basis to help them their technology needs as well as digital transformation. When you look at your job in general, what are the challenging and exciting parts of your work on daily basis?
Well, I think the exciting part is working with such interesting business leaders and challenges to help them find that right fit, that right solution that they're looking for. As I was at AT&T and worked with big IT organizations at JP Morgan and Disney and PricewaterhouseCoopers, you don't get the scale of really what the US and even the tri-state area has to offer. There's so many mid-sized firms in fintech, legal, manufacturing that are really driving the growth that we see in the economy, and getting engaged with these individuals and helping them grow their business, grow revenue, optimize their costs really is satisfying, because what they're going to do with that growth is reinvested into the community. which is fantastic because, those folks are the folks you're dealing with right here in the region. I think from a challenging perspective, while I said, our company is based down in Dallas, we're a decade old, which is great. We have such great growth in the central region and the West, but the Northeast is a new region for us. I feel like I'm a startup here in the New York area, and startup and acquisition growth is always an uphill climb.
Yes. Well, so I have actually many questions for you, but one of them is actually something that's very popular among our audience. Our audience love talking about AI and AI related subjects. So I have a couple of AI related subjects. So I'm going to start with the first one. When you engage with companies, based on your experience, how AI is changing businesses in general, and how is the adaptation going on in terms of businesses adopting AI in your observation?
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely the buzzword, right? So over the last few years, we've seen so many of our clients want to add some sort of AI tool or process to their organizations. It's probably coming because it's front and center in the media. Their CEOs and their leadership teams are getting asked about how they're going to implement it, and it's getting driven down to the individuals that we're working with, because they're responsible for either the IT budgets or the business leaders that are implementing technology. And those that have been more successful with AI start with their AI strategy. They work on their culture and they do training from the top to the bottom of their organization. It's so easy to add an AI feature or technology, but if the teams haven't bought into it or they don't know how to use it, it usually fails. So where we've been successful, like I said, the deployments that start with a clear AI strategy, lines with their goals, and then they implement AI into their daily operations. When you do that, it starts with building the culture that AI is not there to replace them, but augment them and help them grow the business. And as they do that and they learn how to use it, learn to prompt, that really leads to a successful rollout in their operation.
Okay, here is the $1 million question of today. So that's what I've been trying to learn today. Will
Okay.
AI replace humans and jobs?
So I'm going to give two answers: yes and no.
Okay.
So I'm covering myself. Yes and no. So I remember I read a report. I think it came out in 2020, right around when COVID happened. It was a report from the World Economic Forum, and it said that 85 million jobs are going to be destroyed by AI and robots. It's going to replace those type of roles that are in the entire world, right? It was a global study, but 95 million would be created. So in theory, they're saying, things that are being done today are going to disappear, but it's going to be replaced by a net positive amount of jobs. And I don't know if these numbers are right, but we do sort of see that now starting to happen with big companies. Bookkeeper titles and marketing managers might be titles that disappear or change. And then titles that, just 5 years ago in 2020 probably weren't even a thing, like prompt engineer. Those are new titles and new jobs that are getting created. So I think there's going to be a net positive. I'm optimistic that it'll be a net positive, because what the report also said was 50% of your work, and this is 5 years ago, would be done with a robot or AI. And if you think about what we do today, that's sort of how I work. If I'm building a PowerPoint for a presentation or thinking about a proposal, I start off running it through OpenAI, or I might have Claude take a look at it. I think it's a requirement now to get involved with AI and and see how it can help you and augment your work, maybe so you can move faster and produce more as you build your business. So, like I said, I think I answered it with two answers.
Yeah,
That
that was fair. Yeah,
it is.
absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it remains to be seen. And those reports, we see different reports in different time frame with different inputs. That remains to be seen. But that was definitely a great insight. Truly appreciate it. Let's talk about digital transformation a little bit. So in enterprise software business world, we talk about automation. Actually, we talk about digitization, automation, and digitalization, as in the digital transformation. So it's basically utilizing technology to improve your business processes, reducing paperwork, and streamlining business process as much as possible. That's actually what it means by digital transformation, just for our audience who are not too familiar with this term. So how do you see businesses in general adopting digital transformation, as in utilizing technology in their businesses on daily basis? So we started our conversation with AI, but when we talk about digital transformation, AI is part of that big concept, right? So when we talk about digital transformation, that may be cybersecurity features, that may be cloud computing, that may be business software systems, enterprise software systems, and in general, just for for our audience to understand the scope of the conversation that I'm trying to put together. So in your professional view and experience, how do you see businesses adopting digital transformation in general? And this conversation started earlier than AI in business world in recent years. I'm not saying AI is something necessarily new. It's actually coming up decades ago in terms of the technology, but now it's more accessible and affordable. However, digital transformation, we talk about digital transformation 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. It was the buzzword, to your point earlier. So back to my question. So what is your observation in terms of how businesses are adopting digital transformation, and what type of challenges are they experiencing adopting digital transformation in general?
Well, I think every company's been doing it, to your point, for years. From decades ago, we moved from mainframes to personal computers and then to the cloud, right? So there's always this transformation that's happening. AI is getting into the mix because it's just another feature that's getting added, maybe to move things along in a different way through digital transformation. We've seen so many companies move their ERP systems to the cloud. And as they're doing that and they're thinking about AI, how can we interact with those ERP systems now that they're in the cloud with our other data, and really try to understand how these applications are talking together and working together, and what insights might we get out of the data. We've also seen a number of companies start to move more into the cloud. I think one of our biggest digital transformations we're doing with so many number of our customers here in the region, when Broadcom purchased VMware. This happened in the end of 2023, where they moved their licensing. They changed their licensing structure for so many companies, and it drove up the costs, right, for so many of these small, mid-size, and large companies. We had a company that looked at what they were doing in-house. It was all on-prem. They had all their servers located in their building, and they saw this opportunity to move to the cloud, as VMware came to say, hey, we're going to change the licensing structure. So they created a more dynamic and cost-effective operation by keeping some of their work in their building, but moving some of their applications into the cloud. And as they transition to this hybrid design, it drove down their costs. It allowed them to have a better disaster recovery scenario. So if there's an outage in their building, they'll be able to keep that work keep going. And it opened their eyes to what's possible, that it's not an all or nothing change, right? They can start off slow, move to the cloud as their business dictates, and maybe scale it faster, but also keep some of those critical applications on their prem and in their building.
You have years of experience in technology and in business in general. In your career journey, have you had any role models? Are there any role models that you can share with our audience and with our listeners?
Yeah, sure. I think you definitely need role models, folks to look up to as you move through your career, just because it's always so challenging as you go through the years and decades that a career is going to be that your career is going to take. At every step, I feel like I had different types of role models that met the need for my development. And at the start of my career, I had direct managers that were, sitting in front of me and more seasoned peers that guided me through mistakes or helped me avoid those mistakes in the future. That allowed me to use those role models to mimic their work and client interactions until I had enough experience to find my own direction and style. And then as I picked up more responsibility and direct reports and larger organizations, those higher level executives helped me guide through more complex decisions and processes. And then I realized watching them, you need a system, right? Your organization gets bigger, you need to have something that you can reproduce on an ongoing basis or cadence, so you don't feel like you're micromanaging your team, and it empowers them to create ownership throughout your organization. So I think it's so important to have those role models, but you always have to see where you are in your career and find the right role model as you're changing your skill set and your responsibilities.
How about some professional lessons learned that you can share with us?
Uh, I grew up in a big organization, AT&T. So I think one lesson that I would feel is very important in a large organization: be present in the company. In a large multinational corporation with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people, you're really a number, right? You're replaceable. So show up in the office, make sure you have people advocating for you from your peer level and levels above you, because these are the people that are going to help you grow and find new opportunities, but also advocate for you when you're not in the room.
Yeah, that's critical. Do you have any interest outside of work? What are your biggest passions outside of work, you will say?
Well, you brought up Top Golf. I'm trying to get into golf more. I'd say golf, but I'm horrible. And so I'm trying to take some more lessons. Now that my kids are transitioning to college, this is really my focus outside of work. The last few years, just because of COVID and, my change from AT&T to Magetics, really trying to have scheduled time to hang out with them and also travel more and vacation with them. And it really has benefited my kids, but also my relationship with them as well.
Absolutely, that's great. So as a professional, you work hard every single day, working with different organizations, helping them address their needs for digital transformation as well as AI, as we discussed earlier. How do you stay motivated? How do you stay inspired? This is hard work. It's a lot of work when we think about it. You are very modest and you share your professional insights and wisdom with us. We truly appreciate it. But I know it's a lot of work. So how do you stay motivated? How do you stay inspired?
So I think change is good. Well, I was at AT&T for 20 years. I really had different roles within that organization every few years. I went through a period where I was there in the same role for 5 to 10 years, but there were other years that I transitioned roles, and I think that's empowering when we're energizing when you have something new to do. It challenges you and forces you to grow. which is important. And then definitely moving from another organization to a smaller organization is a challenge, and that's energizing. I would also say getting out there and networking, doing networking events. For
I know
me,
you're a great networker.
well, you and I met right at a networking
Yes.
event. It's definitely necessary when you're at a smaller company to get the word out, share what you do, because you never know what door is going to get open for your business, right? A new relationship might open that door, and open it up to a new business or new connection that might translate into something wonderful in the future. So, I think that is important as well. And everyone deals with challenges. Someone once told me that, as we were going through a horrible deployment with a customer, this too shall pass, right? I think that's a Bible phrase. But, once you get to the other side of that challenge, you learn from it. And I always think about that when I'm going through a tough time. Maybe in a week or 2 weeks or a month, this is all going to be forgotten, and I'm going to be better because of this, because of what I learned.
So actually, when we look at our podcast, our full name is the American Business Podcast for the Next Generation. So we love to share insights and business wisdom with next generation professionals. So do you have any career advice for those who are thinking about getting into technology?
Yeah, sure. I think I have an unusual experience because I was at a company for 20 plus years. That's probably not what the next generation of professionals are going to do, right? I think as you get out of college, as you're in your 20s or even your 30s, focus on obtaining experience in different types of roles, technologies, and try to find out what you're good at, and really focus on that, because the usual ladder of growth is different now. I think it means doing lateral moves and steps back as opposed to climbing the corporate ladder, right? So don't feel like you're taking that step back. It might be a wonderful opportunity, because you're not going to have that straight up growth in a ladder. I think it's more like a wall, right? A rock wall where you move up and side and down to where you get to go, or where you need to get to go. It's a little different, but it gets you to the same place with just growth.
Well, for those who like to be in touch with you, who like to continue this conversation, what is the best way to be in touch with you and also to learn about your organization?
Yeah, great. If you want to visit Magetics, www.magetics.com. You could always reach out to me in LinkedIn, or drop me an email. Feel free to do either, and I'll try to stay in touch with anyone who contacts me.
Rob, thank you so much for being with us in your busy schedule. It was a great conversation. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your professional insights.
Thanks for having me, Kevin.
It's a pleasure. Have a
nice
great weekend. Yes, you too. Thank
too.
you so much. I'll see you at another networking event, highly likely.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Thank you. Bye now. Thanks. Well, to our audience and to our listeners, it was another great American Business Podcast episode. As I always mention, this is an educational podcast, informative podcast, and always share informative content. And I know, and I truly appreciate your interest. And I am also happy to also announce that we just passed 60,000 YouTube subscribers on YouTube. So if you haven't done so, please visit our YouTube channel. We have a QR code right here. You can scan it and it will take you to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like, share your thoughts. You can engage with other followers. Now we have more than 60,000 followers. This is a business community. This is an independent business media that we are growing all together. And your support as being a subscriber means a lot to us. So we welcome you to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe and like. We'll truly appreciate it. Also, if you like to be a guest in our business podcast, if you know someone who likes to be a guest, you can send us an email, American Business Podcast at gmail.com. And we definitely keep an open mind. We, as professionals, we all have professional insights and professional wisdom. And we create these business podcasts to facilitate these informative environment. In this sense, we welcome any business professional who likes to be with us in any of our episodes. It's just text an email, americanbusinesspodcast at gmail.com. If you know someone who likes to be a guest, you can also send us an email. We welcome that as well. Also, if you have any feedback, if you have any idea that you like us to cover, address in our business podcast, you can also reach out to us at americanbusinesspodcast at gmail.com. Every week, we update our schedule on our official website, americanpodcast.tv. You can visit our website. Once you log in, you'll see our schedule on top, and you'll see who is coming and who will be our guests in that particular week. So you can be informed and you can join us. And when you visit our website, you can also learn more about us, our team, what we do, what are our goals, and you'll learn more about our podcast and what is coming up. Let's see anything else on our list. I'll also take a look and make sure I cover everything. Also, we have a actual sponsor, IPVanish VPN. If you are looking for a VPN, you can visit the website. I'm sharing the link on the screen. IPVanish. If you're in need of a VPN, IPVanish is something that you can consider as a VPN solution. I use IPVanish as well. It's a solid VPN system. I use it. So if you need a VPN, you can consider IPVanish, and you can visit the link that I'm sharing with you to get more information and to subscribe. Okay, great. Well, I'd like to thank you for your time and thank you for your interest. I'm looking forward to having you at our next The American Business Podcast episode. Thank you very much and have a great week.